10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up, everybody? It's your man Slammin' Sam back at it again, and this is the Competition Plus Power Hour Tuesday nights where we yak it up about everything drag racing and especially what happened last weekend here in Phoenix, Arizona at Wild Horse Raceway. What a great weekend it was, but I'm not the only one that's going to be yakking it up. I got my man, the lighter version of myself, the good-looking version of myself. He's looking stylish and whatnot. Almost lost his glasses, so you guys almost get to see his eyes, but that is Mr. Lee, the Monday morning racer.
Yes, on almost losing the glasses, I hop into the Foley Lewis, dragster pulling van and the tow vehicle, and I'm going down the top end to get some footage, and I wear muffs, and my muffs caught the glasses coming off over my hat, and bloop, there they went. But lo and behold, who steps out of the crowd? Bobby Bodie's backup girl, and she picks him up. I'm like, I know who to go talk to. So it worked out at the end, and I did get him back after she told me that she gave him to a track worker. I found that track worker, and I got my shades back. But Sam, these are new shades. I'm rocking some new white rim with ruby shades tonight.
Because you're making all that money while you're out there. You keep.
You're right. I'm making all that money. Yes.
The Oakley store keeps, drawing you in. I see how it is. So, let's see. Let's be honest here.
Whoa. Hang on. Top Fuel 173 says we back. Who is Top Fuel 173? I haven't seen that in a long while.
That's been a while. He's probably in YouTube. He's probably in YouTube jail. That's why he's like, "Hey, we back."
Yeah, probably in YouTube jail, right?
But yeah, man, Lee. So did you drop him on purpose to try and talk to Bobby Bodie's backup girl? Was that the plan?
No, that was not the plan. His plan is certainly to use the funny car to pick up chicks. He said that on my show live. He's completely doing it.
Why would you not?
I don't blame him.
It's working.
I don't blame him.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Man, what a great weekend. The energy, okay, we're going to have those Debbie Downers. Might as well get it out of the way right now. You Debbie Downers. Oh, it wasn't it wasn't this, it wasn't that. Yeah, whatever. That place was electric especially on Sunday, I got there at 7 a.m. It was electric from 7 a.m. till the time that I left. And I heard, even on Saturday night, the place was still rocking at, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. People are excited to be around drag racing. People are, extremely ready to go and amped up, and they're ready to get back to living their normal lives and experiencing what they want to experience. And there were some people that got a first-time experience with drag racing. Just the different people that were at the starting line. The guy who is the taster for Monster Energy, the guy who was the taster for the Monster Energy, he was there. A huge tattoo artist was with Hagen and his crew. Just
Paul
the
Tracy.
People that were out. Yeah, people that were out there.
Paul
unreal.
Tracy was there with Tony Stewart and IndyCar, a cart, and announced big name in motorsports. He was there, and he said, "I've seen it on TV, and this is insane. Though you've got to come see it in person." As 426 Hemi said, the place looked packed. Yes, it was packed. It was busy Saturday. It was busy Sunday. I'd say there is a great crowd even on Friday. It was good across the board, and something I hadn't seen this in a while, Sam. People were standing up when the fuel cars came to the line. I haven't experienced that in a long time.
Oh, for sure. I was taking pictures up in the stands, and at one point I had to literally ask someone. I said, "Look, can I just stand behind you so I can get some shots?" I did get a really sweet shot of Antron Brown's car. They've been trying to figure something out with some of those Toyota cars right now because the way that they're leaving off of the starting line is ridiculous. Something that I want to talk about, Lee, probably later in the show, is the way that we're seeing a lot more of these cars flex in the middle of their runs, the way that they're flexing, they're bowing. It's more than usual. So I think, that's definitely something to talk about. But, man, the diversity, first of all, the diversity that was out there in the stands, the number of people that were out there, it was electric. I mean, from start to finish,
crowd.
from the
Electric crowd.
from the people that were serving food, the vendors, to the people that were just doing their jobs of the crosswalk, so you can get in and out of the staging lanes, to the people that were parking cars, the police department and everyone directing traffic, the community of Arizona. Hats off to you guys for doing a hell of a job for supporting NHRA drag racing. People came from near and far to go there. I mean, the camper section was packed. I mean, people were out there having a good time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
honestly, man, that's what it's all about is being able to get back and do what, everyone loves to do. And that's doing some drag racing, as we're going to have Clay Millican on, stomping that loud pedal. I mean, I'm going to say this. I'm glad we did not do a live show, a prediction show for this race. Lee, I'm so glad we didn't. I texted you Sunday morning. I said, hey, man, when are you going to be there? You said about an hour or so. So I'm like, all right, he's going to get there. We're going to do this live show. Lee, this is going to probably be the one time that I'm going to say I'm glad we did not do one.
What a wild event. And again, before we talk about on the racing itself, let me also say one more thing about the crowd. I went over to the crowd. I was going to get some photos myself, and there were these teenage boys in front of me, and fuel got done running, and they turned around to their buddy that must have known what drag racing was about, and they're like, we've got to come back to more of these. And they were clearly young men, young teenage boys. Again, NHRA drag racing, I think, is on the rise. I think it's got a positive trajectory. And when people see the product, they're amazed, and they definitely want to come back. So great event there at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. And yes, I think a part of it being so great is Top Fuel is living up to the hype. We saw it at the Winter Nationals. We see it after the aftermath, if you will, as some teams would think, of the Arizona Nationals. Our finalists out round one in competition at the Arizona Nationals. And I think a team in Clay Milliken that nobody would have had on the radar to make the finals makes the finals. And I'm looking forward to talking to him because he had such a struggle of a weekend, and yet he comes to the point where it nearly wins the race. And then all the talk is the Coletta camp and AJ, and yet Rob Flynn going with Mike Salinas, and they popping off a win just second race in Top Fuel. Again, as we've been saying, Top Fuel is going to be wild. Top Fuel is going to be nuts. Top Fuel is going to be crazy, and it's living up to the hype.
Definitely is, Lee. And here, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this because it's not zoomed in here, but I uploaded one picture here of Antron Brown's car leaving the start line. Look at that thing. I'm talking wheels up.
That is up in the air.
Well past the 60 foot. Like that just shows you what kind of racing we had and what's going on. It's just, when have we really seen Top Fuel like that? Wheels, that's like getting on a flight, man. Wheels up, seats in the upright position, tray tables up, bags underneath, and let's go. Like, you're holding on at that point.
Well, I haven't seen wheels up in the air for Top Fuel Dragster like that since probably the 90s, early 2000s. I will say that Terry Totten's Top Fuel Dragster has been known to put the wheels up in the air. But, yeah, you look at Justin Ashley, look at Antron Brown right there, and then Justin Ashley, we showed last week, it has got an extreme arch when it's making a pass down the track. But, man, the performance.
All I can say to that, Lee, is there's a secret. And I can't spill the secret, but there's a secret to why that thing looks and arches so much. I found out this weekend.
Well,
and yeah.
Secret or not, the competition is so crazy in Top Fuel that, well, there's no more arching past round one. And look at qualifying, man. I'm working there with Doug Foley. Doug Foley qualifies technically with his best ET of his career to 375.1 by like 2 thou, his best ET. A 75 2 years ago, the last time we raced there, would have qualified him roughly 9th. He qualified 13th. That's how much the performance has stepped up in Top Fuel, and that shows how many good cars there are right now as well in Top Fuel. You truly cannot overlook anybody.
Very, very true. Lee, do you have a green screen on your back screen? Or are you still
tonight,
in Arizona?
Yes, tonight I do have a green screen behind me. That is my photo from Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. You would not have this background in real life because there's nowhere to put a chair for sure at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. And also we wouldn't have enough light at the moment for sure. So, folks, Sam has stepped away real quick. I guess I'm flying solo for just a few moments. We'll dive into some comments here. Drag Racing Central says seeing younger fans get into NHRA is the best. Yes, and I think we're going to see more younger fans getting into NHRA with the video game upcoming. That is good news for sure. One of my 2 Top Fuel was in also. I imagine you're talking about picks, Tony. Stan chimes in. Most races would be better if you have a day of testing before the race. Phoenix Gators and Indy have testing and generally fast runs. On testing, people went back to Phoenix and they hit it right. Also, those that did test in Phoenix didn't hit it right. Friday night was a time in which that window for the Top Fuel is definitely closed, and the Top Fuel qualifying session was, well, frankly, terrible there Friday night, and then many others hit on it. Testing-wise, for the Gator Nationals, if you tested at Phoenix, from what I understand, you're not able to test at Gainesville. So we'll see who can pick up out of the East Coast guys coming into Gainesville for the first time. Tony says, congratulations to Clay. Hey, getting a runner-up after their weekend, definitely not a bad day at all, for sure. Tony also says Mike Salinas showed the real passion involved. Congratulations on the win. Yeah, Mike was emotional even in the press conference after the race. You can see that on my channel, Monday Morning Racer, the press conference with Mike Salinas, Robert Height, and also Aaron Stanfield. Congratulations to all those winners. Well, Mike did get emotional, and Mike's a good guy, man. I enjoy talking to Mike. Mike's a humble guy. He'll talk to just about anybody. He's not out there just on an ego trip. He wants to go out there. He wants to win. He wants to be competitive. He wants to have fun while doing it. And I know for them to get a win this early in the season with all the transitions, it means a lot to him and his guys. So that's cool. That's cool. Drag Racing Central. Also, Coletta #1 and going out first round. Could anyone predict that? No, man, I don't think so. That's it. That is just it. There is so much going on in Top Fuel, and we're going to see it in Funny Car too. Robert Height right now going back to back, and the performance of some other cars, it definitely looks like strong right now that, it's those cars. But nonetheless, what we're seeing in Top Fuel, it's living up to the hype. I have said it regularly. I said it after the Winter Nationals. I'm saying it now after the Arizona Nationals. But Top Fuel is living up to the hype. That type of roller coaster ride being displayed in competition from qualifying to race day, I think it's what we all want. Sure, if you're a Doug Coletta fan, and I think we all are, you don't want to see it, but yet for the sport as a whole, it is a great conversation. Do I want to see Justin Ashley perform well? Yes. Love Justin and that gang. But nonetheless, for the sport, I think it's good that the guy who won goes out first round, and you see that there's that much parity within the field at the moment. Can we just keep on racing? Like we need to do the Gators this weekend.
Lee, this is all I'm going to say. You can't ride the wave of drag racing. You can't. You just can't. If you ride that wave, Justin Ashley and that team right now would be at the lowest of lows right now, right? You go from winning the first race to now going out first round. You don't expect that. You don't expect Antron Brown to go out first round. I mean, look at the Force team. You got Austin Prock and Brittany going first round.
Right.
I mean, do you, like, as a team owner, you don't want that.
No you
way.
don't. And Austin Prock was not even qualified to the last session.
But okay, no. We can rewind, Lee. Let's rewind back to Friday night. Who was the only car in Top Fuel that was able to make a pass Friday night?
Well, Friday night, you had 3 cars make exceptional passes, and that was Doug Coletta, Trip Tatum, and Leah Pruitt.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things. You can...
And if you looked at qualifying and you picked, according to qualifying, maybe Trip Tatum was your guy, and the parachute comes out, and he loses round 1.
Yeah. I mean, I want to talk about this too, Lee. First round, right? You have Tony versus Justin Ashley, a guy that's been off versus a guy who just won. If you're betting man or woman or whatever you want to call yourself, whichever you identify as, you're probably going to put your money on Justin. My money was on Justin, I ain't going to lie. Tony goes kabloom. And when I say kabloom, I mean, I posted a picture on my Instagram and on my Facebook, Outlaw Performance ENT, that said, it was a picture of the lake right behind the track that says what you want your Monday morning to look like. And then the picture of his belly pan of the car with the oil seeping down it versus what your Monday morning really looks like at work. I mean, it's just one of those things where you never know. And this year, like I said, I really want to do this opening show, to kind of kick off NHRA racing on Sunday mornings between you and myself and just kind of go through our picks, right? But it's going to be a challenge, man. It's going to be like if I recall, I heard you tell Erica what on Saturday night?
Oh, she was my pick to win.
Oh, just so you know, you're my pick to win. I got you doubling. She's like, yeah, all right. But look what elites do. I mean, the Quadra brothers, what?
And
no one.
Well, see, I don't think the Quadra brothers should be counted out. Remember, they won the World Door Slammer Nationals, and there have been times that and then right after the World Door Slammer Nationals last year, go to the Gators, season opening for the NHRA, and one of them takes out Erica round 1, if I remember correctly. So Same brother. Right. Don't take the Quadras lightly in any way, shape, or form. But with all the talk of Erica, Greg Anderson, Aaron Stanfield, and I asked this question to him in the press conference afterwards for the winners. I'm like, man, do you think it's time people need to talk about Aaron Stanfield in the same conversation as Erica Enders and Greg Anderson and other names out there because he tends to get overlooked by, I think, most of the fan base. And we should not overlook him. Already this year, you've got him going to the final, having the mechanical issue. He goes back to the final, he wins, and then you take the performance he had last year, put it all together. He's already like a 5-time Pro Stock winner, and he's a champion in the factory stock showdown, and he's an engine builder. I mean, this kid is an individual that if you could pick him every week, it would be one of the most solid picks, I think, that you could pick regularly in 2022 for sure. Do not overlook Aaron Stanfield. And then, wow, whatever Robert Height and crew had locked away in 2019.
Whoa, you're not going to just stop talking about Pro Stock right there. There's no way you're just going to be like, Aaron Stanfield, boom, done, we're done. You got to give a little bit of credit.
If you want to say something, go ahead, Sam.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Lee. Thank you for being nice tonight.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
I'll even give you full screen.
Ooh, look at that. Hello, everyone. Anyway, how about Camry Caruso? Give her a little credit. Getting the first round win. Congratulations from us here at the Power Hour on the Competition Plus platform. Congratulations, Camry. And to the Power Built Tools, Dez and Erica, they were in the house repping Power Built Tools. So congratulations to them and the partnership that they've got going.
Or as you call them, and Dez.
And Dez. Yeah, because you
right.
Yeah, Lee. Don't take Lee anywhere, guys. He gets people confused, but it's all good. And then what about the incident of the weekend? The come on man moment. The what the heck moment. The what were you doing? To Dallas Glenn. Dallas. Come on, man.
Yes.
Like this is a new segment. Every week we need to find that moment, and somebody please give us a name because we don't want to steal ESPN's little thing. They might sue us or something like that. But that moment, like Dallas, you gotta be safe. Like from now on, Dallas, at every race, you have to wear steel toe boots.
Right, yeah. We have new safety regulations in the KB camp. Still both, steel toe too. Yes.
Like steel toe race shoes, steel toe tennis shoe, whatever it may be. But this just shows how competitive he is. His wife was actually in the staging lanes during that time. He texted her and said, hey, something may have happened. I'm on my way to the hospital. I'll let you know what happens. Sadie looks at her phone and looks at me and goes, I can't actually say what she exactly said, but she's like, it would have been nice for him to call me and give me the option to go to the hospital with him. And this is what Dallas told her. Well, no, honey, you need to stay there and work. Somebody's going to have to pay for this hospital bill. What a smart man. What a smart man.
I'm not touching that at all because from what I understand, Sadie still needs a raise from Dallas. So, I mean, maybe this is going to get worked out. I don't know.
Maybe after this bill, yeah, probably she is getting a raise.
Right.
But, I mean.
Look, let me say this. With you mentioning that, I think everybody still needs to realize, like, what these people are doing from crew to driver, it is dangerous. I don't care if it's even in the pits. You never know what can happen. You never know what might happen. You never know when it might happen and when it might occur. And even though the access that we get with NHRA drag racing is great, always keep your head on a swivel. Like, it shocks me. I see fans in the pits and you've got someone honking and they're paying no attention. And here comes a top field dragster or funny car, and they, trying to turn around to get back out there for round 2 or the semifinals or whatever it may be. Like, pay attention. Pay attention, people. Keep your head on a swivel. You never know what might happen in the pits or at the track. And I guess drivers need to take that to heart for sure.
Lee, people don't respect the honk. The, hey, excuse me, get out of the way. Hey, we got a car coming through. hey, watch out. We're trying to pull the car out. Hey, here comes a tow vehicle. People don't respect that. As soon as you hit them with the meep, meep, then they're, I thought, like, I could honestly put a GoPro on the back of some trailers and just watch people's reaction. You'll have a team saying it 3 or 4 times, or you'll have, the car is coming back. They're humming down down Nitro Alley, and people are standing there like, wow, what are they doing? Sorry, that car is gonna run you over. Don't be that person.
Don't be that person. Please do not be that person.
Before our first guest comes on, there's something that we need to talk about. I definitely heard it over at the Drag Illustrated compound. Fire suits and helmets at the starting line. I know Wes Buck said that he thought it would be sense of like a pride thing or like a big, ego boost. I don't want to call it an ego boost, but you were important if you had the helmet and the fire jacket and the fire pants, kind of like an F1 or a NASCAR. The important people are wearing the helmets and have the crew uniform on. What are your thoughts of something like that happening because of what happened in Pomona?
Well, I will say we already have an example in drag racing, at least one, of what Dragster Jeff mentions, and that's Santa Pod. If you watch anything from Santa Pod Dragway, their starting line officials are all in fire suits, and they're wearing Nomex socks as well, and there's goggles and earmuffs. And I think it is worth looking into. I mean, drag racing, I think, has been incredibly fortunate that we haven't had anything too serious concerning the NHRA itself. It's been rare. It has happened. Like one that sticks in my mind is 80. I think it's 88 or 89, and Bernstein is like at Seattle, and he can't get the car backed up and accidentally hits the throttle, and the body was up, and crew guys are holding up, and they roll and tumble, and that one sticks in my mind. Tony Petragon had that one where people lost clothing and were ran over, but even though it may be uncomfortable, the NHRA's big thing has always been safety, and it might be wise that if you're going to be a particular individual within proximity of the car and like touching on it, maybe you should be wearing something. I mean, look, I go to the line and, Doug Foley or Buddy Hole or whoever I'm helping out that weekend, they do a burnout right by me. I mean, it's not safe. I've had a funny car come at me in testing. I mean, you never know what can happen.
I was on the phone with you when that happened. I was on the phone with you when that happened.
Yeah, that was all very interesting, for sure. But
I like what Stan is saying. I mean, stop making rules. I get that. I understand, but at the same time, safety. And I just want to bring up this point. We forget that the most dangerous part of the sport is what everyone loves. When we're in the pits, everyone wants to stand right next to the rope for that first 20 seconds, 15 seconds when they fire up that nitro car. Because, yeah, I want to be that guy with the nitro. Now, there is a few that you see at different racetracks that stand there the whole time, or you have the funny guy that's always got the full-on gas mask. It's like, come on, man. If you're going to wear the full-on gas mask, you're defeating the whole purpose of being the first person in line. I mean, that's just, hey, my personal opinion. Don't get mad at me. Like, if you're going to stand there and you're going to be that first guy that stands there, you got to just sit there and take it just like the rest of us. I don't get to get those videos of starting videos and have a gas mask on. No, it's actually quite nice for me on colder days because then it just clears out my sinuses and then I'm good to go for the day.
Right,
so
right.
I really appreciate it. But, I mean, personal preference.
Rob Flynn chimes in and says that was the Bud King Brainerd. Yes, it was Brainerd. I remember now that angle. And by the way, Rob Flynn, he's going to be on my show Thursday night, Between the Slicks. So we're going to be talking to the winning crew chief on my show. So glad to have you watching along, Rob. Appreciate it, man, and look forward to talking to you on Between the Slicks, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, Sam, look, what a great Arizona Nationals it was. I think one of the best stories of the weekend, though he didn't win. That's Clay Millican, and we got him coming up in just a moment.
That is for sure, Lee. We do have him coming up. And I had a little insight. I got to talk to Clay on Saturday. I got an interview with him that will be dropping on Outlaw Performance ENT over at our YouTube channel. So go over there and hit the bell and hit the subscribe button. Help a brother out. And then I got to talk to him Sunday. I'm going to do this new good morning. What is good morning in the pits? What does it look like? You have some guys under the car, some guys wiping down the car, some guys stuffing their face with donuts. But I got to run into Clay.
There's a lot of guys doing that. There's a lot of guys doing that.
I got to run into Clay and just get a fully unscripted, natural video of him that is up on Slam and Sam's page and Outlaw Performance ENT of Clay on Sunday. So super excited for him and what he's got going on, and just I think the trajectory that his team is on in the 2022 race season already this early.
Right. Well, look, we're going to bring them on in just a few moments, but I do want to give a shout out to Eric. He's been helping me out a lot, destroyer1320.com. I stayed with him here for the Arizona Nationals, shot some commercials, and he's going to be helping me out a lot. He's got a neat, innovative product. So this little piece of metal, if you didn't know, there is a neutral release strap in a lot of modern vehicles, and in the Challenger and Charger, they are very, very easy to locate. Like, you literally pull the coin tray out in the center console.
Lee.
What?
Lee, you're telling people how to steal cars right now.
That's right. I am. But I've got the solution, or at least Eric does at destroyer1320.com. But you pull that red strap, boom, car's in neutral. You can roll off with it. But Eric has created a plate that uses factory mounting points to cover that strap. So check out destroyer1320.com. Use promo code MMR for 15% off and protect your ride, because we all know that those Challengers and those Chargers, they are high on the theft list for sure. So go check that out when you get a chance. But Sam, this show is brought to you by who?
Weldon Pumps.
And we've got him, the loud pedal man. Clay, how's it going?
I tell you what, I ain't complaining about a thing. It's 70 degrees home today, and other than the wife putting me to work picking up tree limbs from the ice storm we had here, I ain't griping about nothing.
Yeah, you can't beat that, especially, after the weekend you had. Unfortunately, in the final round didn't go your way, but, you have a lot to still be happy about, like you and I talked about on Sunday morning and Saturday. I remember coming into your pits after the first round and saying, Clay, if you need help, let me know. You were down a crew guy, and your crew stepped up. So talk about that first.
No, I'll tell you, we had our bottom end guy, had kid get sick, needed to go home. And, of course, family's first with us for everything. And so we sent him on an airplane, and then our guys kind of figured out where they needed to be. And the next thing you know, our supercharger guys doing the bottom end, and Lance Larson and me are working on the superchargers. I don't want to say we were servicing the superchargers, but Lance and I were working on the superchargers. And then, that's the thing about this group of people that work on the race car that I drive. They're amazing. They're very super dedicated to what they're doing, and they just stepped up and got it done. And as the wind lights started coming on, I ran over to Antron Brown's pit area, saw Brad Mason. I'm like, hey, can I borrow Chris Newton? Chris Newton worked on our car last year, and so Chris came over, and that was an easy thing for us and him because he worked on my car last year. So he knew where the tools were, he knew what to do, and And so that kind of brought us back up a little bit. And then as more wind lights come on, the next thing you know, we even got Antron over there himself. We had the whole AB Motorsports team over there helping us get that thing ready for the final round. But we had an awesome day, but it was extremely hectic. Like I say, it started Saturday morning, like I say, our bottom end guy had to leave and go home for good reasons. And it just got hectic from there. But it's those kind of weekends where the outcome, I don't know. It just seems like sometimes, you just start going rounds and you don't know why it happened or how it happened. But the next thing you know, you're rolling into the beams shooting for a Wally.
Yes, you had an interesting, possibly you being the guy, frustrating weekend until you start winning rounds and go into the finals. I mean, because Friday night, it didn't even start. There was issues qualifying because I believe you were in the other lane, smoked the tires, and I was filming Doug. And I'm thinking I'm like, man, Clay's having a rough week here. This is not going well for him. And I don't think anybody would have had you penciled in to go into the finals, but it happened. So was there a point at any time you're like, can we just pack up and go home and try this again later, or what?
Oh, I'm definitely, not that guy. I'm always, glasses always half full. And talking about penciled in, I didn't quite get to do what Erica Enders did last week or a week before when she won in Pomona, where someone had gave her some locker room material and, said she was washed up and all that sort of thing. Well, she completed the job and got to call them out for doing that. And, it kind of made its rounds on social media and the 00 page and what have you. Well, I'm just going to put it out there right now. There was 10 people listed in the National Dragster. What's it called? The Tricky Tipster?
Yes, Tricky Tipster. Yep.
Yeah. I wasn't one of them. So there you have it. National Dragster. Don't count us out. We're not done. It ain't over with yet. We might not have run good in Pomona, and we might not have made the shootout also because of NHRA and their uninformed rules. But hey, don't count us out. We are not quitters. We're not going to lay down. And you know what? I love what I get to do, and I love the opportunity to go out there. And was Phoenix not awesome? It was packed. I love that.
Yes, Phoenix was great. And by the way, Clay, I pay no attention to the Tricksty Tipster either.
That's hard to say.
It is. It's very hard to say.
Sounds like an old school bar, if we're being honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I mean,
but believe me, it certainly caught my attention that, hey, we made the top 10 last year and that they had 10 cars listed and we weren't one of them. So that's okay. We're in the top 10 again. We're hanging in there. And I want to just say, the NHRA is definitely, the only place we can go do it. And we all have gripes and complaints, but they are still the show. No two ways about that. Even if I did get kicked out of the shootout.
I know where you're going with that, and I love everything about it. But since everyone's talking about the drama and the gossip, Lee got kind of blasted there on social media a couple of days ago. I saw the comments there. I've obviously must not be doing something right, or I'm doing everything wrong because these people haven't said anything about me yet. So unless I just haven't seen it. So I'm going to keep on tipping that fine and narrow line.
Oh man, it's there. I love social media. I have a blast doing it. And, and obviously I'm just kind of poking the bear a little bit right now, having some fun, but it was just such a great weekend. The fans, I guess it had been 2 years since we've been there, and boy, they were ready for us to come out. I posted a photo yesterday of us warming the car up, and it was a sea of people. That is fantastic. I think I think I said drag racing is alive and well, and if you think it's not, all you got to do is look at that photo. Obviously, some of the tracks we go to are not going to be that way, but Phoenix, they were ready for us, and it was just an incredible time. And I mean, there was some monster runs. Doug Coletta runs a career best 365. That was pretty dang awesome. Steve Torrance smokes the tires, which is something you don't hardly ever see. I know those guys, apparently are working on, finding a low 60 combo. Said they've kind of stuck with what they've done for the last 4 years, and they are looking to improve. Austin Prock was on fire at Pomona, and he didn't get in until his last run, and I guess he got beat. I don't remember if that was first round or second round, but it's funny when I get home from the races, somebody will ask me, well, who won Pro Stock? Who won Funny Car? If it doesn't happen in that box, and that box being the area where my car's sitting in our hospitality area, I usually don't know. But I got to admit that I came home and I watched all 4 rounds of the race on TV, on the DVR or whatever you call that thing. I watched all 4, so that's kind of why I know what I do know.
So Clay, Doug Foley, he went out there, qualified at 375.1, his best ET of his career, and that only got him 13th on the sheet. And 2 years ago, he would have roughly been 9th with that number.
Yep.
Talk to me as a driver and as deeply you're involved in that team. How crazy is it that there's so many good cars right now in Top Fuel?
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. The technology is available to everyone. The teams all pretty much run the same parts. Yes, they run them in different ways, but everybody, they got the same heads essentially, whether they're AJ heads or DSR heads. They got an AJ block, or whatever. Everybody kind of has the same parts. And there's only X amount of crew chiefs out there, and those crew chiefs have made their way to different cars, and they kind of spread the knowledge. And then you've got the addition of Tony Stewart having a car, with Leah doing that, and then you got Tony Schumacher coming back, and so the technology has spread out, which has kind of leveled the playing field. And I think that is fantastic. I don't even remember what I ran. It wasn't that great in qualifying. I think Doug out qualified me, but we went to the finals. So that goes to tell you, I was definitely in the bottom half of the field somewhere, and it doesn't matter anymore. You just got to qualify, because every car out there is capable of running good numbers. And that's just kind of the way it is. The more this happens, the more we're going to see different winners. And I certainly am not sitting here saying that Steve Torrance's reign is over with. I don't think it, is maybe by a long shot, but I think you're going to see a lot of different winners. I think we're starting to see that in the first couple of races here. It's going to be an awesome and exciting year. Everybody better get up on the wheel, and they better stomp on that loud pedal on time.
So Clay, I've got a question for you. Well, I got a couple of questions, but first, I walked out of your pit after you guys fired up the car, and someone goes, "Hey, you were just standing, next to the car. How come he doesn't whack the throttle? He's always talking about stomping on the loud pedal. Why doesn't he whack the throttle during the warm up?" So for anyone that's out there, can you explain to them why you guys personally do not?
Well, for us, I would love to. I think it's fun. We used to do it, and the bottom line to it is the way that everybody cuts their clutch. Now, there are a few exceptions. Obviously, Scott Palmer's, known as the whack. He's the whack throttle whack guy. Alexis does it, but everybody cuts their clutch discs so flat now, and they cut them so nice that it's really not necessary. And it's probably not terribly consistent whacking the throttle. Because you are literally like, hit it off of it quick as you can. I do love doing it. Like I say, we used to, but it's just about making the clutch consistent. And way back in the day when I started, we used to cut our clutch disc essentially with what looked like a record player. And a lot of people are too young to even remember what a record player is. But you had one little diamond, and the disc was spinning, and it cut across the clutch disc. Well, obviously this left little lines, and so then when you put the floater up against there, the floater has cutters in it, and when you hit the throttle, it would shear off those lines and make everything flat. Well, now we basically cut them on a flywheel grinder, and they're perfectly flat, and we don't whack the throttle anymore, but I do miss it.
No, that it was just one of those weird questions, and I was like, I didn't really know how to answer it for him. I was like, well, I just no one really does it. Scott, if you see Scott Palmer's team out here, they'll do it for you.
Yep.
For sure.
And Alexis does it.
Oh, well, I'll have to send them down there.
Yep.
Right. In addition, Leverage Racing when they're in town, and also Terry Haddock with his funny car. He also whacks the throttle. So there's a few still out there giving that good old whack for sure. For sure.
They kind of went away, I think, and Scott Palmer's starting to bring it back. I'll give him credit.
Mm-hmm. And it's honestly, it is something that I even wish the NHRA would not make a rule, but be like, guys, just a little blurb, please. Just encourage everybody. And if everybody did it, doesn't that make it even? And fans can be happy. Because I used to be one of those kids at the Southern Nationals. I went from pit to pit to pit to pit to pit to get the whack.
Oh, yeah. Watch that awning pop up in the air, which is awesome.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
And the people.
Oh, I love – so I've learned, being in the pits, car idling, you can usually find this little air pocket right next to the car that you're not getting blasted with nitro. And you're breathing decent air. But it's so funny. People line up on nitro. They try so hard. And then, whoop, there's no fans anywhere. I love it. It's beautiful.
I'll tell you what, I got a video I was editing right before I came on here. I'm editing the final round race video for YouTube this week. And there is a guy. He is literally like calling on the nitro. He's standing there, and I can't wait to post that because this guy is just like he's in it to win it. He might not remember what happened on Monday, but I'm telling you, he was in it to win it and sucked in all the nitro he could get while he was there on Sunday.
Man.
I mean, you've got to see it, Clay. Like I said, before you came on, those guys and girls that they're the first ones there, and then they're stuck in there, and they're the first ones that want to leave. Like, I felt bad. One dad took his daughter. It was his daughter's first race. She had to be no older than 5-6 years old. And he drags her right up to the front, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this is not going to be good. And I'm getting a video of Antron's car, and, of course, the way everything was on Sunday, it's blowing right, into the faces of the fans. And her face is red and everything. So I'm like trying to figure out, okay, how do I help this little girl? So finally they like find a way to sneak out. And then after I just see her rubbing her eyes, I'm like, I go up to the dad and I'm like, hey, that is the worst thing she could possibly do right now. Just tell her to keep blinking or do something else, because rubbing that right there, you're just letting all that just go in. And it's just, it's fun to see, but you can tell some of these people have no idea until they start smelling it all.
Oh, I know it. Hopefully that little girl was not so terrified that she don't become a race fan for now on. You know what I mean?
No, she actually. So then her mom looks at the dad and goes, "Are you serious? You actually did that?" Because the mom and the son went to the bathroom, and she goes, "But mom, it was so fun." And she's pretty much crying, and I'm like, "Oh, this is great." But Clay, you've got to talk about a world record that you set. And I saw some new sponsorships on that trailer and car. So talk to us about the world record that you set and the new sponsorships that you are a part of.
Well, I'll tell you what, we set the draggy world record, and I took the quarter-mile record away from our buddy Lyle Barnett. Congrats on your win down at Lights Out, by the way, Lyle, if you're watching this. So the draggy world record was tough to get, and it wasn't the elapsed time or the speed that was so hard to get, but it was – so draggy is essentially a GPS Bluetooth device that is tiny. It's like this big. It's not very big, but you got to have your cell phone nearby for it to work. So obviously I can't do this during an NHRA national event. Not supposed to. We've tried it last year a couple times, and it would never validate the run for whatever reason. It would give us garbled information. So I had borrowed the first draggy from Boosted Boys, which massive YouTube channel. Those guys were in Gainesville. We tried to do it in Gainesville, and it didn't work. And then we tried it again at the end of the year last year in Pomona with 1320 Video. Those guys were out filming. and it didn't work. So I bought my own draggy. I played with it some. I made some 14-second quarter-mile runs in my Razor, by the way, stock Razor. I was pretty impressed with that. So finally, during testing, we tried it a couple times, and it worked. And I was so excited that we did it. I couldn't wait to, get it up on YouTube and show everybody that it can work on a top fuel dragster. They were validated runs, and so we set the draggy 8th mile world record, which that's really all we were running our car in testing was 8th mile. But coasting, we also set the quarter mile world record, and I'm sure some of the other teams will come after it. But it was a pretty good run. 8th mile was 2.99 seconds, and the quarter mile was like 473 or something, which I've been quicker than that in a quarter mile. But again, I was only full throttle to almost half track. So we did set the draggy world record. It certainly created a lot of comments, on the YouTube video that, what is it? I don't understand what kind of record it is. I had a lot of people said that, you don't have the national record. You've never been quick enough to do that, which is incorrect. I did hold the record for almost 2 years, I think, but it's fun. The draggy thing was a neat deal. And I'm sure when we, if we test, I will probably sneak it back on there. But it's a neat little device because you can just take your phone and put this draggy in the car with you, or your Razor, or whatever the case may be, and you get some data out of it. It gives you 60 foots and 8th mile, quarter mile, and it gives you speed. And I put the time slip and the draggy, I don't know what you call it, I screenshotted what the draggy said it run, and it was actually within 300ths of a second, which I think is pretty good. I went 830, 60 foot. It showed it going 860, and I think I think the actual draggy world record is 301, but the time slip showed us going 2.99, so in the 8th mile. But Lyle Barnett was not happy with me, so he said he's going to get Scott Palmer to pour him a seat, and he's going to try to go out there and take the draggy world record back.
Man, that's cool though, that the app and working it out, and y'all can duke it out and see who keeps the record and has the record. I like it.
I do too. It was fun. I really enjoyed doing that. And like I say, I mean, it's just fun content, and I'm obviously, I'm YouTube addicted. My wife will tell you that, but we're having fun with it and enjoying it. And, people are getting to see things that they do not get to see. They're literally, I'm doing it with my phone. I do use a GoPro a little bit, but I mean, in the trailer with my crew chief or whatever the heck's going on, people get to see it and they can come check it out. And a lot of crew chiefs won't allow that to happen, but we do it. I did not get to do it this weekend, and we go to the final round because I was actually a crew guy this weekend. So I did not get any in the lounge information this weekend, but we had fun doing it. And Sam, I think your other question was new sponsors. Obviously, I'm sporting the Summit hat. That is new this year to our team. We had, a Big Tex Trailer World come on board. I mean, Power Built Tools. We really had a great, a lot of business moving during the off season and into this year, and I'm excited about it. There's some other announcements coming that I can't wait to let them slip out. I'm trying to figure out how to give you all a hint without giving you a hint, but I don't think I can. But it's one of the most iconic names in the world of hot rodding and aftermarket and the motorsports world in general. We'll make. That's all you're going to get out of me right now, but that's going to be coming up soon. And I probably will get in trouble for saying that, but that's pretty hard to figure out actually. But so it's been good. I mean, the business to business thing is where it's at these days. You got to figure out, how to do that. And, the social media side of things is huge. And man, I'm having a blast. I do 20 plus years I've been doing this. Still love it. Still motivated. Still work hard at it. And, hopefully we'll have some more Sundays like we did, a couple of days ago.
Well, Clay, look, man, thank you for your time coming on the show. You had such a fascinating yet rewarding weekend, and hope your Gator Nationals goes well. Also, we're going to let you go. Have a good evening, man.
Man, thank you guys so much. It's always a great show. See you guys soon.
See you
Thank you,
soon.
Clay.
Keep stumping on that loud pedal.
Every chance I get.
Hey,
All
Lee.
right.
With that being said, I think we need to break to Holly because they have a great commercial for us.
Right.
Classic car owners, make your headlights over twice as bright with Holley Retro Bright LED headlights. A plug-in replacement for those dim halogen seal beams, Retro Bright maintains that classic look and lasts 6 times longer. Stay safe and click the link below to learn more.
And now, the winner of the Arizona Nationals, Mike Salinas himself. And is that the social media starlet daughter right there that was just on camera?
Yeah, that's her.
Did she get the raise that Joe Costello was pushing for in the media room?
She's working on it, believe me. And
She's working on it. All right.
we gotta test her negotiating skills.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
Just not giving in right away.
Nope.
Well, Sam, you remember last time we got great advice from Mike concerning daughters, like don't let them have your credit card. They've got to have their own credit cards. You're right.
Yeah. No, but see, this is what's funny about this show, Lee, and this is what's funny about drag racing and everything. Mike and I left out of Tony's pit, and I saw Mike walking out of his pit. I said, "Hey, Mike, we got to get you on the show soon." And he says, "All right, I'm going to hold you to that." Who knew a couple of rounds later he'd be the winner of the Arizona race, and here we have him. So, I mean, you knew before I knew. You knew you guys had found some horsepower late last year that you had told us about, and you guys kept testing and working. How does this feel for your team to, continue to work, continue to find this horsepower, and now get to raise a Wally after the second race of the season?
Well, with the exit of Ellen and Brian, they had a great recipe for us. But at the end of the day, we still got to run that car. The conditions change, so we have to run that car. And what's amazing about what we're doing is we are still finding more horsepower. There's a lot left in this car. Both races, Pomona and Arizona, we did not hurt a part. We did not scuff anything. I mean, it was kind of pretty amazing. So the products that we have, the good Alan Johnson parts, good Alan Johnson heads, blocks, all the other pieces that he puts out there, good parts. And we run them hard. And the car that we're running right now, it just seems to want more. We actually backed the car down for this weekend. Because we ran a 367 in the test session, and we kind of had a good idea what it could do. So what we did now is we backed it down to go racing, and this is us backing the car down. So we're pretty pleased with what the results are.
Man, you've got to be stellar in testing. Definitely Representative Pomona win early in the season. And talk to me, because you alluded to in the press conference and you've alluded in other interviews that like you're giving guys a shot. Like there's people that maybe they should have already been up higher on the totem pole, if you will, and they're getting that shot with the Scrappers racing crew. Why do that, and who are those type of individuals on your team?
Well, basically what we've done is I've watched Aaron Cave for the last 3.5 to 4 years, maybe 6 years I've known him. Watch how meticulous he is, watch what he is, what his work ethic is, how he does things. And, I knew he was an up and comer. And all he had to do was make a couple of adjustments and do the things he needed to do to prove to everybody. And basically, we had an opportunity to grab some other crew chiefs, but I chose him because I think that the youth of today, with the work ethic that gentleman has, he's hungry. He wants to do this. He's been watching Alan and Brian do this for years and years and years, and he's never gotten the chance. We're not saying that he wasn't nervous at Pomona, starting the car and doing all the different things. The the first time he fired up at testing, he was nervous. But we all just took him under our wing and just told him, just calm down. You're going to be just fine. Go do this thing, and you got this. You know how to do this. Calm down and do it. And so, he just wanted to be so perfect. So he's pretty hard on himself, but he's a great guy. He's hungry, and he's going to do a good job with this thing. And this is any indication. I think everybody better watch out, because him and Rob together, they have something pretty special. They're manipulating the tune-ups. They're seeing things that are going to work for us as a team, and it's really fun to watch them come out of there. And he's smiling and he says, "I just found how to get our 60-foot a little bit better." He's like a kid in a candy store, because he's been dreaming of this since he was a little kid, he said. So now we gave him the shot. It's going to help the sport. And can you imagine what all of his peers in other teams that are on the same level get to see? And they're going to have an opportunity, hopefully, in the future. But I'm very pleased with the results, and I think I made the right choice.
Well, let me say, from a fan media perspective, thank you, because we've been saying the same names in nitro tuning for a while now, and they are growing older, and they are reaching time where it's retirement, or they're being brought out of retirement. And though they're very capable, it's good to hear fresh names. So thank you for giving that opportunity, and hopefully building possibly the next new class of nitro tuners that we'll be talking about.
Yeah, I think other tuners, other teams need to give these young people a chance. They really do, because first and foremost, you are right. A lot of these guys are retiring, and what are we going to do? Right now there is a crew chief shortage. You have a veteran crew chief. Rob Flynn is very smart man. He knows his stuff, and he's teaching these young kids. Rob has the guys coming in, so when they have a comment on the car, like the tire's too small, or the tire's too big, or we should have done this, or we should have done that, he'll bring them in and he'll hold a little class with them. This is why we did this. This is why we did that. So he's trying to educate them. So it just, as a whole team, it makes everybody on the team smarter. After we finish our runs or the race and there's time, he'll address things that he sees as a concern for the future, because what he's trying to do is, these guys are very sharp. They're very good. I would rate them as one of the top, if not the top crew. And he's only going to make them better by educating them. And it gives them opportunities to be what they want to be. We have a couple other guys that want to move up and do different things on the team. And I think it's going to be very positive for the sport.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that you mentioned the last time you were on is, you want people surrounded by you that have a great work ethic and that want to continue to grow. That's what you instilled in your family and in your daughter. So it just shows across the board of, what your standards are, and you're not going to let them down for your team or who you surround yourself with. And it makes for a better sport. And that's why in the class that you're in Top Fuel right now, Lee and I have it predicted. This is going to be the year where it's going to be a nonstop battle for what you guys have. Going to a question, though, from one of the people viewing in today, Stan. He has a question that says, any plans for a second Top Fuel Dragster this year?
It won't be this year, but it is in the works.
Short, sweet, not giving us all the information. I like it. Going through your race, your race weekend here, and, being up against what you were up against this weekend, was there any moment in you guys' pits where it was, all right, what's going to happen next? Or was there that moment where you guys are like, you know what, we got this? Was there any of that, or was it just business as usual?
No, one thing that I give credit where credit is due. One thing that Alan and Brian taught all of us, including myself, you have to have confidence in what we're doing. These guys do a phenomenal job on assembling the car, getting it ready. You have to have that confidence. that's why when we go up and run a 67 with a 1, people aren't jumping up and down, because that's what we expected to do. So a lot of what it's really funny. A lot of what Brian and Alan and look, they taught a lot of us, a lot of people in the sport that have worked with them, how to do this the right way. And you know what? It's not being arrogant. It's not being it's just being sure of how good your work ethic is and that you're doing the right thing. Well, we went up there first round. Okay, we knew we were going to run a 60 something. Okay, and we knew, and that was our plan. So we have a game plan when we go to the races. We don't sit there and say, well, let's go to this round and let's try to figure out what to do. We actually structure a game plan. We're going to run this person. We're going to do that person. Let's try this. Let's do this. This is what the plan is. Stick to the plan. We'll readjust if we have to, but this weekend we didn't readjust. We didn't have to. And I went up there with every intention of staying in the 60s on the lights. The only time I was out of the 60s with was Steve. I must have yawned or blinked or something, but I ran a 73 and he cut a 33. But on that run, I knew we were going to be in the 60s again. So pretty straightforward for us. They can jump around, like I always told the guys. Since we started this new project with each other, we celebrate when we win. We don't celebrate when we go win a round, or when we qualify real good. That's not your celebration. You bring the Wally home. That's how you celebrate. So the guys are pretty awesome with that, and it's kind of cool because a lot of the what Alan taught all of us sticks with us. It sticks with us, and it's the same thing. I'm actually pretty excited about it because we have a package, we have a program, we have everything that's working. Why would you change the recipe for something that works good? And look, Rob is going to take us to the next level, and he is doing it. He's tweaking things, and he sees little things that he thinks he can do a little bit better. Well, you know what? Let's try them. But if the car is running perfect, don't touch it. Leave it alone.
So coming into 2022, the talk in Top Fuel was really around many other teams and not Scrappers Racing. And though you had several stellar passes in testing, there were also some elements in which to grow from, with the throttle in particular. It seemed like one burnout wasn't a burnout, it just lurched forward. And there was another time it looked like you didn't have much of a pedal and it wouldn't actually go when you got up on it. So there were some things to work out. That's why we test. And those things apparently have been worked out. And the team has gelled already with even new leadership in place. So did that happen sooner than you thought, or has it happened right on time?
Well, the couple of things that did happen with the throttle, that was just butterflies. Look, these guys, you got to remember something. We're in a sport where a lot of egos, a lot of craziness happens out there. And my guys took a chance with me. My guys took a chance with Rob. I took a chance with Rob. Rob took a chance with me. We all had to depend on each other. Okay. Everybody said we were finished. We were done because Alan was gone. I beg to differ with all of them. As long as we put the right people in the right places, it'll work. The throttle, one of the guys forgot to set the butterfly. Okay. That's a good mistake. It won't happen again. Somebody forgot to throw water in the water box. Car launched forward. Okay, good. Okay, that's why we're testing. Got all that out of the way. Let's go to the races and let's go win. We have good conversations afterwards. Everybody is accountable in our pit. We don't point fingers, but who was supposed to put water in the water box? It didn't happen. Okay, let's not let that happen again. Okay, same thing. Butterflies, it didn't happen. Okay, let's not let that happen again. Let's move forward. We can sit there. We're on the positive side of things instead of the negative side of things. And we don't want to browbeat somebody. We want to make sure that these young people, we want to make sure that we give them the confidence that, look, Brian always taught all the guys something. If you make a mistake, fess up to it. Own it. Own the mistake and let's move forward. And look, Brian and Ellen were really good teachers. They know that they were teaching us, but how many of the guys were like us? They were all like sponges, even including myself. I never talked tune-ups. I never talked all this stuff, but I paid attention. I paid attention to runs. I really paid attention. I didn't get where I'm at in life by not paying attention. I didn't say much, but I paid attention to everything that's happening on this car. Now I'm asking questions, and my guys are looking at me like, we didn't think you knew anything about cars. It's a different game.
Unreal. Looking forward, I mean, you guys are holding yourself, the team, everyone to a high standard and pushing each other to become better. What's next for you guys? What's next for Scrappers Racing? I mean, you've already set the tone of, hey, we're not pointing fingers, we're taking responsibility. We're going to check everything, check it twice to make sure it's done. So moving forward, like what would you say is the collective goal? Obviously, the collective goal would be to win a championship, but for the development and the growth of Scrappers Racing, what do you think the next step is?
Well, when you speak about development and growth, okay, the team that has been together, they've been together for quite a long time. So the development and growth would be myself and would be Rob learning the team, and the team learning that I'm now. They don't have to answer to Ellen or Brian. They have to answer to Aaron and Rob. And look, those guys gave us a good recipe, but we have to own it. We have to take that recipe and turn it into our own. He did it with Torrance. He did it with Brittany. You need to take this thing and take it to the next level, or you will basically fade away in this sport. So that's our goal, is to continue on. We got a lot of stuff going on. The next race, we know status quo, keep our momentum going. Everybody do what they're supposed to be doing. I'm driving Pro Mod at Gainesville. So I'm going to have a little bit more fun, except for the Dragster also. So we'll do a little bit of both. All my guys, they are ready for this. They've been into they're a championship team. They've been there before. They were with Brittany. They've done stuff before, So I just haven't been there. So in a sense, Rob's the new guy and I'm the new guy, and they're bringing me along, But it's nice that it's funny. It has not changed. I mean, nothing has changed. Anybody that's been with us for years, I walk out of the trailer, the same guys putting the same parts, and they're doing the same jobs, and it's really, nothing's changed. We service a car, the same quickness, the same fastness. Everything is the same way. So that's what's going to make the difference, because I didn't lose my guys. And moving on forward, we will just continue to move forward and be careful on how we try to be too aggressive. Don't let your ego get to you. We just won one race. I really appreciate it. It's great. But look, there's 20 races left. So we've seen Steve do some amazing things. David Grubman goes out there and sets world records. Look, Doug Coletta, that was a nice run for him. I'm really happy for Doug, Ellen, and the guys. We got to race those guys. But what I really like this year, every race is a dogfight. Every race. Steve and I were talking the other day, and he's like, this is going to be a fun year, because whoever gets this year and wins this championship, they are going to earn it. There is no dominant car. Justin wins the first race, goes out first round. Doug goes out and sets his fastest time, blows the tires off first round. The stars have to align, and you have to have your stuff together, and everything has to work perfect for you to win these races. So I think it's the best racing for the fans this year. We haven't seen this in a long time, because look at the field. Look at how much we're separated by. It's so close. You got to cut a good light. You have to go down the track, and you have to be, if you're not in the 60s this year, you might as well park your stuff, or learn how to get into the 60s, but you're going to run this year, and you got these young kids that are cutting 30s and crazy lights. So it's going to be very interesting. And my goal, I don't care who we race, but every round I go up, we need to win that round. Every round.
So one final question for me. That die cast that's sitting behind you there, are we
Yes,
going
sir.
to see those at the track?
They are in the works as we speak. They are in the works as we speak.
The comeback of the die-cast league, we talked about it at the racetrack. I am all in favor of, one, the die-cast cars coming back, and two, the next time you mention a class called Pro Modified, we've changed the name on this show. It is now called what, Lee?
Pro Mod.
No, it's Professional Modified. You guys need the respect. You guys should be on the stage on Sundays. It is Professional Modified. Just saying.
Yeah, you got to be half crazy to get in those things anyway. But I will tell you, they are some of the funnest things to drive because it's just like I was talking to Tony Stewart about this. I told him he's got to jump in a pro mod, and Tony goes, "Nah, you guys are crazy." And I said, it's like the sprint car, same thing. It's a modern day fuel altered, and it's on edge. You can't make a move, you can't mess around, and they're running good. I have total respect for that car. Petty just called me and told me our car's ready. So we're I think they did some dyno pulls. It's loaded it up in the trailer. They're ready to roll. So we're excited about it, and I'm excited to get back in it and have some fun with that stuff. Keep this brain busy.
Look, Dragster Jeff chimes in and says the whole gang at Famoso Raceway is proud of your big win. Are we going to see you at the March meet this weekend? So going to make a trip out to Bakersfield?
I have previous engagements. Just got off the phone with somebody that had rooms for me, and it was all set up to go. I have some business I have to take care of that I cannot get away from.
Oh, man. Well, look, we know the folks will miss you, and we definitely have enjoyed our conversation with you. We got a transition to Mr. Balwazar, who is out there this weekend with the March meet at Famoso Dragway. Mike, before we let you go, look, man, thank you for being the dude that you are. It always fascinates me when I'm walking the pits, and it's like, I know this person knows me, but they don't even say nothing. But you're one of those dudes, like, hey, how you doing? Or a wave, a nod, or something. So keep being you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir.
When you make those die casts, everyone wants the hauler to have a die cast.
Yes, the holler. Yes.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah. Mike, look, before you do go, we were pitted right next to you with Doug Foley, and you would not believe how many people, the nitro pits are up on that ledge basically at Wild Horse Pass. And there were so many people that would stop and take a photo through the fence of your rigs. So you got primo stuff, man. Looks good.
Well, look at what we're doing. Look at the American Graffiti Nights. Just to look at the whole car culture. We're living that still. And honestly, I don't want to let it go. I feel like I'm 16 at the races. I don't want to let that era go because, it was so much fun going and driving your 55 Chevy down the street and having fun and, waving at people, and just those days are gone. We need to keep them alive. So my cars, my haulers, all my stuff is like that. I still feel like we're hot rod people,
Well, keep
Definitely
on hot rodding.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully Jazz, she gets that raise. We're all in favor of that raise too.
Okay.
So
she may get the raise. We're working on it.
We're working on
it. She's like, no, Dad, you're done.
Thank you.
That's great.
Well,
That's great.
Well, Lee, you got to spend some time in San Diego, so that I know that means you drove through the Bakersfield area, through my hometown, the good old SD, the Salty D as we call it, San Diego. but Bakersfield right up the road, some great cars, some old school, like Mike was saying, some of the old classic guys. I mean, that's that area that it was, but now we get the chance to transition out of the top fuel ranks and talk a little March meet. Lee, are you ready for that?
I am ready for that. CompetitionPlus.com is going to be there in force. I know from what I understand, Darren Williams Jr., American Hot Rod Entertainment is going to be working with Competition Plus out there. There's going to be stories. There's going to be footage. There's going to be great coverage from CompetitionPlus.com at the historic March meet. And that's why when you go this weekend, you need your Competition Plus apparel.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.
Blake, welcome to the show, man.
How are we doing, guys?
Doing good. Well, look, so live
because I'm having a bad hair day, so I should have wore a hat. Everybody on the show has had hats on so far.
Right. It's, hey, we all love hats here. We all love hats. First of all, while we're live, let me say I apologize. It has taken this long, and we're behind time of getting you on. But thank you for your time either way, because you just about can't get any more historic than March meet, and that's about to happen. So
that's right.
Talk to us about how many years is it this year? What is the number, and what are y'all looking forward to this weekend?
This will be 64. The first March meet was in 1959 and has been running ever since. The track opened in 1954. First March meet was in 59, and this year we're celebrating the 64th March meet. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
64th.
Like a lot of history out here. Obviously, next year 65. That's going to be a big deal. So not looking past this weekend, but next year 65th would be pretty cool.
That just speaks of like history. And when people say that drag racing and this sport, this hobby that we get to enjoy. No, this is it's a hobby to some, but it's a sport. I mean, it's around as long as some other, professions, and it just speaks of it. But I can't help but I've always noticed the stuff that's in the background.
Oh,
see, do you see what God intended drag racing to look like right behind him with all those campers and trailers?
Yeah, so
look at that.
Those are overhead shots taken a few years ago by Mark Gortz in a helicopter over the track. That's looking down the track, and the other one's the RV area and all that. So yeah, that's what it'll look like here. We started the process today, moving cars in, rigs, campers, the whole thing, and it'll by tomorrow or Friday, or tomorrow's Wednesday, tomorrow or Thursday, it'll be looking just like that again. So how cool is that, huh?
It is very cool, and from what I understand, no restrictions. Like y'all are full blast, open up, right?
We are. Yeah, California's finally got it figured out that we can be outside in an open air venue, and we're going to be okay. So I think the Super Bowl helped that. We had that pulled off a couple weeks ago, and of course, we'll leave the politics out of it. But I think that opened a lot of things up. We'll just go with that.
Definitely. Well, look, right away with you mentioning everything being open up. Yeah. Where can people go get tickets, and where can they see the schedule and all that type of thing? Where can they go?
Yeah. Famoso, actually it's Famoso Drag Strip. I saw Dragway. That's cool. FamosoDragStrip.com. You can see the full schedule there. Tickets for sale online right now, or you can buy everything at the gate. All of our gates are wide open. No seating restrictions, no limits. Come one, come all. And we've got just about 60 nitro cars on the property. And we're going to have 400 more other, your gassers, your A, B, C, D, all your index cars, Nostalgia 1, 2, 3, Hot Rod. It's going to be full. So yeah, just about 60 nitro cars on the property this weekend. Pretty darn cool.
Wow, I mean that's up there with funny car chaos stuff that you're doing, Lee. But yeah, I have to ask you said that you're already starting to bring people in. How many trucks, trailers, campers, RVs do you guys predict or prepare for this every year?
Oh, there'll be, just campers alone. There'll be, 600 or 700 on the property, and there are 500 race teams. So, I mean, you could have, a few thousand combined vehicles, whether it's, support vehicles or campers or race haulers. And that doesn't count. You can see in the background vaguely, there's a swap meet that's several hundred spaces, and there's a vendor row that runs the entire quarter mile in our pit area, but not just down the quarter mile. It turns around and comes back. So it's a vendor row where you can walk down and walk back up. In the middle are our vendors as well, plus car show happening in our Grove area. So it is, it takes all day to take this thing in. So come out, come prepared, and it is a lot to take in.
So break down some basics for us watching right now. Everybody might not be familiar with March Meet. I myself, though I know it's a historic event, I have not been there. So just like you mentioned the name, it's Drag Strip, not Drag Way.
Right.
What is the official title? Because I know like Bobby in an email mentioned Auto Club Famoso, and then everybody says Bakersfield, but is it in Bakersfield? What's going on, and where is this thing?
Yeah, Auto Club was a title sponsor of ours for several years. I want to say 18 years. They had to, unfortunately, due to COVID, they had to back out of a lot of things. They're still involved with John Force Racing. I think that's about it. They've really gotten out of a lot of stuff, as everybody has. COVID really wiped out a lot of stuff. So, officially we are Famoso Drag Strip. That was kind of the name back in the day, and we just thought, we want to go back and kind of grasp our roots and go from there. So, the event, the March Meet, started out, it was, contemporary cars. I mean, this all started when the Smokers, who founded the racetrack and put on the first March Meet, they actually paid Don Garlitz to come out in 1959 because there was rumors of what they ran out here and what he ran there, and nobody believed each other. So Ed Iskandarian, who, by the way, is 100 years old this year and will be at the March Meet this weekend, was the go-to guy. He was trusted, and they gave him appearance money that he paid Garlitz with when he showed up. And Garlitz came out here and got beat pretty easy because he didn't realize that the guys out west were running superchargers on the car, blowers. So he got that fixed right away. And then, of course, he went on to win 5 March Meets out here. So, and it's just gone on from there. It sort of went in a little kind of soft, kind of quiet in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and then it got reborn into a nostalgia drag race. But I tell you what, and Mike and I have talked, Salinas, there, about Bakersfield looks like an older facility. It fits the nostalgia racing. On the outside, looks like a nostalgia car. You look at the body and it's all looks old, and on the outside older, but you lift the body off and everything inside is all contemporary. We're a concrete quarter mile surface. We've got all aluminum grandstands. All the track prep equipment is modern day. We got a track rotator, a scrubber, a spray machine. Everything you see at a national event is here this weekend. So we own all that. We run that every weekend out here. So we are a nostalgic facility that is contemporary in every way, but we're kind of sneaky about it.
That's awesome. And for people that want to come out here this weekend and want to experience it all, is there stuff for all ages, from the kids to if grandma and grandpa in town and dad really doesn't want to stay in the house with them and he can bring them out to the drag strip? I mean, is everyone covered? Is there stuff for everyone to be involved in?
You bet. In fact, kids are free. 15 and under are free at the event. So with a paid adult. Wow. So we're really making an effort to go ahead.
Wait, Blake. You said what and under?
15
are free.
That's like the highest age I have ever heard. Wow.
You know what? We're trying to continue this, right? We want to pass this on to a new generation. So we need the younger group to come out, and they do. We see grandpa, we see dad, and we see daughter or son. We see the generations together, and they're taking it all in. And yes, there's a lot to do. There is a manufacturer's row that targets everyone from women's purses to doing hairdos, full crate motors. I mean, everything. Just you can find it all there. Good Vibrations, who is actually our title sponsor of the event, it's actually the Good Vibrations March Meet. Jim and James Mayer will be here displaying their Sifka funny cars and also selling all of their products that they represent. People literally come here and walk out with wagons full of parts, and the swap meet is unreal. You see guys like, the Snake down there hanging out, buying stuff. And it's just a gathering every year of people, and you can just see the who's who walking around. But yeah, all ages can benefit from coming here. And, you can't hurt that it's free. So bring them out, try it. If they don't like it, then, we tried and go home. But you see a lot of kids here having fun, and, a lot of golf carts cruising around, a lot of kids running around and having a great time. And we just want to keep it going.
I can tell you from interacting with other YouTubers that have been able to go out to the drag strip there in Bakersfield that they're like, wow, we love national event stuff, but this is way cooler. And it is a completely different experience. And I think it is something that millennials like myself and younger, we tend to have this nostalgia flair to us. Like, look at coffee shops. Coffee shops wind up in old buildings and you're having a contemporary coffee. And I think what you all are doing, and even Funny Car Chaos to an extent, and like Southeast Gassers, it's providing that. And there's a lot of young people actually gravitating toward it.
Yeah, it's history coming to life, right? I mean, yeah, you can go to a museum and see it. You can go to a car show and see it. But when you can actually see it, feel it, smell it, experience it, that's we're bringing history to life. That's what's really cool about out here. And like I say, these cars are contemporary in every way. They just look nostalgia. The funny car bodies are on top, and they're the old style pre-80 bodies. But boy, they're modern in every way. And let me tell you, they haul butt. I mean, we're talking, they go, 550s and 270 miles an hour. So that's pretty good for a limited pump, limited overdrive and single mag and all that. So they run pretty good. Yeah, it's really cool to see. And it's just, it's something we feel is important to keep going. And I think we mentioned earlier, these guys are very serious about this. It's still, when you win this race, you ask Ron Capps what it means to win the March meet. He'll tell you that trophy is right there on his mantle where he, sits every day in his office. It's right there. It meant a whole lot to him to win this thing back in 2020. And every year we have guys that they can check that off their list, and they won the March meet. And that means a lot.
I just am admiring this comment right here. And, and everything you're saying. Ron Capps has talked about March meet on this show. But you have people coming from Hawaii.
Not coming, they're here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like that, it just shows what kind of event that you're putting on. I mean, it's one of those things where obviously, and I have family in Bakersfield, and they've talked about this for years.
Oh, okay.
And I'm from the San Diego area, so in San Diego, LA, I have family in Pasadena as well. So, I've heard about it. Have I ever attended? No.
Yeah.
Should I? Lee, I think this is the one. Here we go, Lee. We're going to have to mark our calendars and saying, hey, we're going to March meet after Phoenix next year.
Dude, Sam, I can tell you a lot. I'm in Phoenix right now still. And if it wasn't for the Gator Nationals that I need to get to, I'd be going west again.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I think as a community in drag racing, I would think even for NHRA, for the people that were in Phoenix, I mean, San Diego from Phoenix is a 5-hour drive, right? Bakersfield's probably got to be about the same. Why wouldn't we? And I think this is something that Lee and I think we should do a lot. NHRA should be saying, hey, we've got a week off. These teams are going out east. How about you guys, a few of you guys stay here out west, and let's help March meet. Let's promote this. Let's get some of our fan base that is, iffy. Like, where do I get my, my old nostalgia fix or whatever that they're looking for? And I think that's something that we should do. And I think that's what this platform that Bobby Bennett has given us, the reins to, is to be able to talk to different people from different, groups inside the drag racing community. And I just want to tell all you guys that are out there, do it for me, do it for Lee. If you're in Bakersfield or you're in driving distance to get there this weekend, if you can hop on that Frontier flight, oh, I hate saying that, but if you can hop on that Frontier flight for, you know, $65-$70, man, do it.
Yeah.
Experience it. I mean, because each experience tells its own story.
Well,
and that's the biggest thing.
No, it's a great point. And again, we're still nostalgic. We still run a quarter mile. So you want to see nitro cars run a quarter mile, you got to come to Bakersfield. We're the only track you will be able to see in California a nitro car go a quarter mile. Everything else is 1,000 feet, and that's great. It's fun to go watch all those guys. But you want to come back here and watch kind of the way it used to be. You want to see a car go all the way to the quarter mile, then this is the place. So yeah, this event is it's bigger than the track. I mean, this is the community that everyone benefits. The hotels, the restaurants, the coffee shops you mentioned. We still have family-owned, family-run businesses here that depend on events like this, and this is a big influx of money to our community, and it's very important. So we feel that pressure. We feel that like we owe it to everybody to continue this on and really make people come to town. And you mentioned Hawaii. We got people coming from our cars already here. Guys racing from Hawaii, England. They're coming. Canada. Got some Canadians coming down. It's we've lost a little bit of the worldwide travel because of what's going on in COVID, but it's coming back. They come from all over Europe, and it is truly a gathering of people all over the world who get it and love it and want to see it continue.
So many people would be familiar at an NHRA national event of the heavy hitters in competition, whether that's John Force, Justin Ashley, Mike Salinas, Erica Enders. Who are the names to look out for in this March meet in that competition?
Slam and Sam.
So funny car, probably the most consistent winning car is Bucky Austin's funny car. Bobby Cottrell drives that car. They have won a bunch. Top Fuel, last year's champions coming back, and he runs in two categories. Dan Horan, he's a pretty heavy hitter in Top Fuel. Our defending champion that's Dan Horan. The year before that was Adam Sorokin. That's the champion speed shop car. That's one of probably your two bigger hitters in Top Fuel. Tyler Hilton has runner-up, I believe, 2 years in a row here at the March meet in Top Fuel. He wants to win badly. We're looking at 26 or 7 nitro funny cars here, trying to make a 16-car field. And you mentioned it. I heard Mike earlier talking about any car can win. Any car can win this category in funny car. We've got fuel altered. We've got 16 plus fuel altereds, nitro burning fuel altereds in their own category. Now they're on a 6.0 index, but I'm telling you what, they put on a show. Last year's champion Eric Gates will be here again, defending his title. And there's a lot of guys, Johnny West, and one of the Hawaiians we're talking about, Derek Morera, will be here, and Keith Wilson out of San Diego. He's got a fuel altered. He's going to be here. Guys are coming here to win this thing, and anybody can win this thing, but there are some guys that have won it, more often, and they're all going to be here. So it's pretty cool. And of course, we mentioned Ron Capps. He'll be in a fuel altered, so he's got a little experience, know how to get down that track, so that can come in handy in a fuel altered sometimes. He drives sprint cars, and he's definitely used all his driving skills trying to get a fuel altered down our quarter mile.
So do you get a lot of people that may go to NHRA events or different events and, get that wow or that, question factor of seeing these cars actually run quarter mile versus 1,000, that they're used, that a lot of people, I guess, are starting to grow used to now. Do you think that there's a lot of question in that, or do you think that quarter mile excites a lot more people?
I think it excites the enthusiast, the historian person. I think it keeps that. It just keeps that group together, if you will. It's sort of like walking back in time is what works great here for us. So yeah, you can go to a national event and they're great. I love going to them and seeing all the guys and walking around. But when you walk in the gates of this place, it's just like stepping back in time. It's like being in 1970 all over again. And that's what we encourage guys to do. Come here, forget about what's going on outside those gates in your real life. Whatever your wife is, upset with you, or your daughter's, got a boyfriend you don't like, or your job's a drag, or whatever. Walk in these gates and just forget about it for a few days and experience some quarter-mile drag racing and see old friends and just embrace it. Just have fun. We got to cherish it while we're here, man. I got to give
All
you
right.
a little battery on my computer, so I might be checking out here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, look, talking about March meet, obviously any track typically has many more events beyond a marquee event. You know, I know a lot of national event tracks. Everybody thinks, oh, that's the only time they drag race. No. So what are other events happening at that facility?
So we are a little more, like I said, we are nostalgic, in flavor, in flair, if you will. We have both the March meet and the California Hot Rod Reunion here. That opens and closes our nostalgic season, if you will. And those are national events, for the guys that race here for those things. Mm-hmm. We do have another series, our ANRA series, American Nostalgia Racing Association. That's a 5-race series. But we do a full bracket program, summit, racing, our team, Famoso, all that. We do all of our street tuner nights. We've got import races. We're open from mid-February to mid-December, just about every weekend but holidays. We try and avoid holidays if we can, just to give the guys a break, and enjoy the family. And other than that, it's a full schedule, and we do a lot of racing out here. Yeah, it's a nice full schedule. Jump on FamosoDragstrip.com, check out the schedule. It's something there for everybody. And I'm going to get a power source plugged in here, so let you know I'm going to have some juice here pretty quick.
Okay. Well, and like you said about, if your wife is mad at you or I think you got to put that on a shirt.
Yeah,
it's March
exactly.
meet. It's March meet. My wife is still mad at me from last year. Or I don't know. Use it to your own advantage. But it looks like what you guys have got going is good. People are saying, Dragster Jeff is saying everyone that he saw there today has smiles on their faces. So, I mean, that's always good. It's always good to have people that are enjoying themselves and having fun and doing what they love to do. And that, just like Clay Millican always says, is smashing that loud pedal.
I'm back.
Well, we're glad to have you back. Hey, going live, stuff happens,
I kind of missed that, but I think you're expanding what we're saying about leave it outside the gate and just come and just experience the whole, just experience it all. Just take it all in, man. We're not getting any younger, and, life is so cool to experience right now. And hey, my worst day at work is at a drag strip. Not too bad. So I'm pretty happy with my job and get to have a good time. And I'm proud of the facility. I'm proud of fans coming here and having a good time, being entertained. And it's great when you see them thank you and have a great time, want to come back next year. And we see them at other national events. I see March meet shirts walking around. It's really cool. It makes you feel darn good when you see that. Yeah.
Yeah. We saw a couple at testing league.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'll see it testing Pomona, back in Phoenix. Definitely West Coast, and I've seen them on the East Coast too. It is that well traveled of an event, and we hope you have a great weekend. And it's one that goes down in all the history as one of the most historic that you'll ever have. And once again, give you the floor. Plug when, where, and how to get those tickets.
Yeah, online at FamosoDragstrip.com right now, or just show up at the gate. Heck, if you want to race, we're still doing race entries. So bring your nostalgia car out and compete. But any of our ticket gates, the race officially kicks off on Thursday. So as a race fan, come out, bring your car for car show. Car show's free. Just pay to get in for a spectator pass, park in the car show. We got awards, we've got everything, and the car show's all free. So we offer a lot out here. So FamosoDragstrip.com. Jump on there, buy some tickets, or come to the gate. We'll be happy to sell you a ticket at the gate.
Boom. Blake, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
The March meet, be there or be square. If you're near or if you're far, it doesn't matter. Get there. Support them. That's what we need to continue to do, is support our local racers, our racers that give back to us and the things that we can do. I think Lee is really contemplating going west. I can see it. Lee, you guys here. We're just gonna take a poll. We're gonna take a poll. If you think that Lee needs to drive back west before he goes back east, say West in the comment. If you think Lee should be
there
smart,
should be a bunch of West. Yes. Oh man.
if you think that Lee should go East first and not go to March meet, say East. But if you think that Lee needs to get his butt down there for the both of us and get some March meet in, please say West right now. I'm starting to see it.
West. Yeah.
West. Yes. Dude,
Rob's like flights are cheap, Lee. Yeah.
They are. Lee, I'm not even gonna lie. That Frontier flight from Phoenix to, you can fly in pretty much anywhere there to get to Bakersfield. But you got your car down there. You might as well just get an oil change and go ahead and head that way. And then, Lee, look, Lee, here. I'm gonna have, at the end of the show, I'm gonna give Lee some life lessons. Lee, you're already there. It's 5 hours out of you. It's 5 hours.
Yes.
Lee,
but John, you don't realize I have gone west. I've been gone west for 3 weeks. It's been a good ride, but it might be a 4th week. Just don't tell Mom. Mom will be like, what?
Like, Lee, here's my inspirational life lesson for you here tonight. Just do it. It's like Nike. It's just like Nike said. While out west, keep roaming and wandering till you find the wild, wild west. Now that you're in the wild, wild west, stay west.
I might have to. Just might have to.
If you don't stay west for you, stay west for me. Lee, March meet is the place to be.
Mr. Bowser just might get an email of, can I still get media credentials to this thing? And me rock on over there. So Stan does chime in and he wants to know, MMR, did you go to the track for the Monday Nationals? I did, Stan, but I wasn't shocked nobody was testing. Because of testing, Pomona, Phoenix, pretty much everybody packed up. They were rolling on or they were just servicing. There was hardly anybody left there, so there was no testing, in fact.
But there is some testing down in Florida that's going to be happening.
Well, apparently even possibly Valdosta, people can go there. And yes, for like the East Coast guys that didn't get to go out to Phoenix, there apparently is going to be a test before the Gator Nationals at Gainesville as well, from what I understand. That's what has been going around anyway. But if they tested at Phoenix, they can't test in that session.
Lee, I heard, I got a text message from a little buddy that was on our show a couple of weeks ago. Did you get that text too?
I don't know.
From someone in the professional modified class.
Oh, okay.
Saying, and let me find it here. It was a picture. He posted it on his social media. Said, told you guys it was a secret where we were testing, LOL, at Baby Gators running Comp Eliminator. I can't tell you because it's a secret. I can tell you later in the chat.
Right.
But there's, how do you say it? Silly season ain't over yet, Lee.
It's not over yet for sure. In fact, it's never really over. There's just a period where it seems like more is happening. That's another thing. Look, I know we haven't talked about it. You just mentioned it, but there is another great race happening on the East Coast this weekend, and that is the Baby Gators. I was considering going, though it looks like I'm going to go west now. But nonetheless,
flights are cheap. Cheap,
do not overlook the Baby Gators. Like, I know the Gator Nationals, great, but for a while now, there's been this tag team of weekends like this. You have the regional divisional deal, and like Alcohol Funny Car is going to be there, and Alcohol Dragster is going to be there, and Heavy Hitters and Comp Eliminator and Super Stock, and they race on Saturday and Sunday. So if you're on the East Coast, maybe you just need to spend a whole week and a couple of days down there in Gainesville and get in the Baby Gators and the Gator Nationals.
See, Lee, now I have a real question for you. What if the Door Slammers were this weekend? Would you still go west to March meet, or would you come, because this is usually the weekend. This is usually the weekend we're headed for the Door Slammers. So, weird. That's right.
That's right. Yes, I would, because March meet is that big and that bad. And it's something that I think every drag racing fan and every drag racer should attend. just like you should attend the World Series of Drag Racing there in Cordova, just like I think you should attend what Chris Graves is creating with the Funny Car Classic there in Enos, kicking off the Funny Car Chaos season, which, by the way, were like over 65 funny cars, I think. It's going to probably be even bigger than last year. So it's one of those events like the U.S. Nationals you must attend, like the Gator Nationals you must attend. So, yes, I'd say I would.
Boom. And there you guys have it from Lee's mouth, from the MMR, the people that want to continue to hate on them stylish shades and call you a clown. We don't need.
Let me say that. And Sam, look, I appreciate you defending me, but let me say this. We did have someone in the comments section say that I'm fat. Well, duh, I know. I weighed today. Though I've lost 20 pounds. I've been working on it. I have lost 20 pounds because I'm concerned about my health and I want to be healthier. And look, if I'm the clown of drag racing, well, at least I'm still in the court. And I may be the court gesture, but I'll play my role and I'm closer to it than you are.
My name's Slam and Sam. You can find me on Outlaw Performance ENT, Slam and Sam. YouTube is Outlaw Performance ENT. I don't have anything because obviously I'm not playing the game right, everyone. I'm just having fun here. No one's hating on me just quite yet. So all you guys out there, y'all have a great night. Slam and Sam's out. Lee's going to shut down the show.
Yes, I'm going to shut down the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Competition Plus Power Hour. Be sure to subscribe, like on Facebook, follow on Twitter and Instagram as well. Competition Plus, you can find it there. Thank you, Weldon High Performance, for sponsoring, as well as Holly. Get that Competition Plus apparel. Also, by the way, this guy, Rob Flynn, says, great show, guys. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate that. Fist bump. Look, going to have him on Thursday night on my show, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday Morning Racer channels. Go check it out, Between the Slicks. If you're at the Baby Gators, enjoy it. If you are at March Meet, enjoy it. If you're at a drag strip anywhere this weekend, enjoy it. And until next time, God bless and keep the pedal to the metal.
In the race for quality, there is no finish line. Jerry Bickle Race Cars is a one-stop chassis shop for drag racing performance parts and race components. For over 50 years, Jerry Bickle Race Cars has been an essential part of racers' plans for building world champion race cars. Our parts department is stocked with every part a racer might need. Log on to jerrybickle.com for more information. We build anything with doors. jerrybickle.com.